So you're getting a divorce, you know you need a divorce lawyer, but how do you find one? And how do you find not just any divorce lawyer, because there's plenty of divorce lawyers in the world. How do you find the divorce lawyer who's going to be right for you, the one who's going to be a perfect fit? I'm Karen Covey, and I am a divorce lawyer. I'm also a divorce coach and consultant, and today I want to share with you my tips for how to find the divorce lawyer who's going to be right for you. And you know, when you talk to people about how you find a divorce lawyer, most people have the same advice. And they're going to tell you either, go talk to everybody you know, find out who they use for their divorce, go use that lawyer. Or they're going to say, oh, go to the internet. I mean, isn't that where you get everything? And both of those pieces of information or both of those ideas have value. And I'm not saying don't do them. For sure, do them. Word of mouth is the best way to get a divorce lawyer. But you've got to do more than just that. If all you do is get the lawyer that your neighbor or your best friend used, that lawyer still might not be the right lawyer for you because they had different needs. They had a different situation. They might want something different from a lawyer than what you want or need. So word of mouth is good, but it's not the whole picture. It only gets you so far. You've got to do more. And the same thing is true with the internet. Now, I've got to tell you, the lawyer with the slickest website isn't always the best lawyer. And I mean, that doesn't mean that they're not a good lawyer, but I have to tell you, I know some phenomenal divorce lawyers. I mean, really top-notch people whose websites are meh. And maybe it shouldn't be that way, but they're so busy lawyering and representing people and helping people that way that they don't pay as much attention to their website as you would like. So don't judge a lawyer just by their website. Yes, you want to look at it for sure, and that's information, but it shouldn't be the only information you look at. So if those are two things that are good to do, but they're not the whole picture, what else do you need? Well, it starts with tip number 1. And this is a little different than what most people are going to tell you, but you'll see why it's important in a second. And the first tip I have for you is to choose your divorce process before you choose your divorce lawyer. Here's what I mean. Today, there's more than one way to go through a divorce. It used to be that you just went to court, fought, and that was the way it was. You have choices today. You can do mediation. You can use collaborative divorce. You can use litigation. You can use arbitration. You can use negotiation directly with your spouse and do everything everything on your own first before you go to a lawyer. There's a lot of different ways that you can get divorced. And you need to match the way you want to get divorced with the divorce lawyer you choose. And that's the opposite of what most people do. Here's what most people do. They say, okay, I need a lawyer. They go find the lawyer and don't even think about the divorce process they want to use. They don't even think about the way they want to get divorced. And so how do they get divorced? Well, they get divorced whatever way that lawyer likes to divorce people. The lawyer is going to do what the lawyer is best at and most comfortable with, which may or may not be what's best for you. That's why if you choose your process first, if you take the time to educate yourself and learn about the different ways you can get divorced, choose the process that you want to use to get divorced, and then find a lawyer who does that, who specializes in that. That's the way you want to choose a lawyer. So that's step 1. Choose your process first, and then the lawyer second. Tip number 2, decide how you want to use your lawyer before you walk in the door. Here's what I mean. Just like now there are a lot of different processes you can use to get divorced, a lot of different ways to get divorced, there are a lot of different ways you can use a lawyer. I mean, it used to be that you would go to a lawyer, you'd sign up, and the lawyer would take you from beginning to end, start to finish, everything you needed in your divorce, full representation. And that's an awesome way to get divorced. I mean, it gives you a very high level of service. But depending on your circumstances, you might actually need more. If you've got a lot of money, a lot of investments, a business, complicated issues, and a lot going on in your divorce, hiring one solo divorce lawyer might not be the best for you. I mean, maybe it is, but maybe it's not. Maybe you need a law firm. so that you have access to a whole team of lawyers who can all do pieces of your divorce and help you get the result you need. On the other hand, if you're on the other side of the spectrum where your divorce isn't that complicated, or you don't have a ton of money that you want to spend on your divorce or can spend on your divorce, then maybe you want to use your lawyer in a different way. Today, in most states in the U.S., not all, but in a lot of states and in Canada, you can hire lawyers to do pieces of your divorce. Like you can consult with a lawyer, have the lawyer write up your documents, but in the middle part, you go mediate that divorce, your divorce with a mediator and your spouse, and you don't use lawyers at the mediation. You can hire a lawyer to do that. Or you can hire a lawyer just to do certain pieces of your divorce without representing you from start to finish. Now, that's not an approach for everybody, but it's an approach for some people, and it's something to consider. So step number 1 is choose your divorce process. Step number 2 is figure out how you want to use your divorce lawyer, and then pick a lawyer who does that, who's comfortable with that. Because not every lawyer is going to be comfortable representing you for a piece of your divorce. Some lawyers just want to do the whole thing or nothing, and that's fine, but you need to know that. You need to know how you're going to use your lawyer. The third tip is to be prepared. Here's why. If you walk into some lawyer's office and you don't know what you want and you don't know what to do and you're a complete emotional wreck, you are not likely to have as good of an interview or get the information that you need to make an intelligent decision about, do you hire this lawyer, or this lawyer? And by the way, you know, of course, that you should interview more than one lawyer. I mean, even if you just really, really like the first lawyer you meet, and that happens, you still owe it to yourself to get a second opinion or a third opinion, and so that way you have something to compare. But if you're not prepared for that interview, you're not going to be able to compare what the lawyer said or what they were like, because you're not even going to remember. You're just going to have some feeling about, oh, I kind of like that person. And that's fine, but that might not get you the best lawyer for you, and that's what you're looking for, is that perfect fit. So if you walk in with a list of questions and you're kind of as composed as you can be, and you ask the same questions to every single lawyer, you'll be able to see how their approach is different. You'll be able to see how their answers are different, right? So that way it gives you something to choose from and you'll make a better choice. So those are my top tips. Choose the divorce process first, decide how you want to use a lawyer, and be prepared for that interview. And if you do those things, you will have a better chance at finding the lawyer who's really going to be best for you in your divorce. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you again soon.